I've closed over $18 million of YouTube sponsorships. And if I've learned one thing, it's this: your subscriber count doesn't matter. Most creators think you need a massive audience to land brand deals, but it's not true. Brands care more about partnering with the right creator, not just the biggest one. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to position your channel, what brands actually look for, and how to position yourself in a way to get a yes, even if you're just starting out. For some background, I'm Brandon Pomerati. I'm the founder of Adhesive Media. We help YouTube creators like you land legit sponsorships with vetted brands. No fluff, no bullshit middlemen, just real deals that actually pay. Since starting the business in late 2022, we've closed over $18 million in sponsorships for over 130 creators. So when I say I know what works and what doesn't, you know it actually comes from experience. In this video, I'm gonna start by busting the 3 biggest myths when it comes to landing sponsorships. Then I'll walk you through the 6 steps to landing your first deal. And by the way, if at any point throughout the video you have questions on a certain thing, feel free to drop that in the comments and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So, the number 1 myth that I want to bust is this: your subscriber count matters. No, your subscriber count does not matter when it comes to landing sponsorship deals. What actually matters is the quality of your audience and how many views you get per video. I've personally seen channels with 20,000 subscribers and 10,000 views per video drive way more sales for a brand and convert better and get more repeat sponsorship deals with that brand than a channel with 1 million subscribers and 400,000 views per video. Why? Because the smaller channel had a much more engaged audience that actually bought the product from that brand. At the end of the day, your subscriber count does not matter. What matters is how many views you get and the quality of those viewers. Which leads me to the next point. Myth number 2. Brands care about how creative or cinematic your sponsorship is. That's false. I've seen creators film sponsorships with one take, no fancy editing, and get annual renewal deals. I know, it's crazy. And on the other end, I've seen creators put together full-on cinematic commercials from the brands, put so much time into it, and the ad completely flops, the sponsorship completely flops, the brand didn't renew, and it was a waste of all the effort that the creator put into it. The reason is because authenticity matters more than how cinematic your ad is. And the channels who made the more authentic ad had an audience that actually listened to their recommendations and bought the product. Unlike most sponsorship managers, I've actually worked in marketing with 8 different brands before getting into this business. So I know what brands actually care about. And surprise, they're looking for sales. They don't care about a short film. They want to convert into sales. Myth number 3, doing sponsorships makes you a sellout. It's not true. YouTube videos are expensive to make. Actually, I am hiring an agency that's editing this video and it's not cheap. It costs about $1,000. Sponsorships are a great way to finance your videos. And if you explain that to your audience and you thank them for being there with you, they'll actually be more receptive to you doing sponsorships. Now, sponsorships do make you a sellout if you're promoting some scammy or some spam product. So you definitely do need to be careful about the products you choose. Always make sure to sample them out and always make sure the company has a good reputation online. Ideally, work with a trusted manager or agent who can vet out the companies for you. So those are the 3 myths. Next, we'll get into the 6 steps to land your first sponsorship. In the meantime, if you're finding this video helpful and you want more real strategies that help YouTubers, creators grow and monetize, go ahead and subscribe. This channel is me packed with hands-on advice to help you monetize smarter on YouTube and crush it when it comes to sponsorships. Whether you're under 10K subs or getting over 1 million views per video, this channel will be helpful for you. I don't sell any courses, I don't sell any books, I have nothing to sell on this channel, so it would really mean the world to me if you could subscribe. Now, let's get into the 6 steps to land your first deal. First things first though, I gotta drink some water from my Adhesive Media water bottle because you know when you put water into a company water bottle, it tastes better. Step 1 is pricing your channel. There's a dozen different ways to price a sponsorship, and it depends on a lot of factors. First, what is the deliverable? Is it a one-off mention or is it a multi-month deal? Is it just a quick shout out Is it a 60-second mid-roll integration, or is it a fully dedicated video? Is the product directly tied into your niche audience, or is it more of a general consumer product? All of these factors will have a huge impact on your pricing. And honestly, I can make a 2-hour video just breaking down all pricing scenarios. That's what I do all day, is figuring out different pricing for sponsorships. But for this video, let's focus on the most common sponsorship you'll see, which is a 60-second mid-roll sponsored integration with a general product. These are the type of sponsorships you've seen already with companies like Athletic Greens, AG1, Manscaped, HelloFresh, BetterHelp, and so on. And so here's how to price it. Most sponsorships on YouTube fall between a $20 and $60 CPM. That's cost per 1,000 views. So for instance, a $30 CPM on a video with 100,000 views, that sponsorship would cost $3,000. Now, where you fall on the $20 to $60 CPM range depends on a few factors. Number one factor is how high is your US audience. Most general products that are sponsoring YouTube channels target a US audience. And so what they'll want to see is a 60 or 70% plus US audience. The higher your US audience is, the closer you are to the $60 CPM range. The second factor that goes into it is your audience's age. How old is your audience? Generally, audiences that are predominantly 25 plus or 35 plus will have higher spending power. Generally, audiences that have big 13 to 17 and 18 to 24 will have less spending power. So the older your audience is, the closer you will be to the $60 CPM range. The next thing you'll want to look at is how good is your engagement, specifically your comment engagement. So what brands are generally looking for is a 0.5% comment engagement. That means for every 1,000 views, you want to get 5 comments. For a video with 100,000 views, you'd want to have 500 plus comments. If you can get closer to a 1% comment engagement rate, which means 1,000 comments for every 100,000 views, that's even better. What this means is that your audience is engaged, and when it comes time that you are going to promote a product, a sponsored integration, they are more likely to buy it. And thus, a sponsor will pay more to tap into your audience. The next thing a brand is looking for is how consistent are your views from video to video. And the reason they'll pay more for this is because it gives them more certainty that what they pay for is what they're gonna get. It also gives them more certainty that you have audience that comes back for more. And thus, when you promote a product to them, they're more likely to buy it. The next thing that a brand is looking for is they wanna know if your face is on screen or if it's just a voiceover channel. Channels where your face is actually on screen means that you generally have a better relationship to your audience, and thus the brand will be more interested in sponsoring you because your audience is more likely to buy the product. The next thing here is, do you have a good track record of renewals with other sponsors that you've worked with, right? So if you've done sponsors in the past, even if you only worked with one brand before, did that brand come back and book more spots with you? That is the biggest indicator that if it did well for one brand, it might do well for their brand too. And the last thing here is general supply and demand. So where you want to get to as a creator is you want to get to the point where you have multiple brands that are coming back for repeat business. What this does is it limits how much supply of ads are left. So let's say you post 4 videos per month and 3 of them are sponsored by the same brands every single month. Now that you only have 1 spot left, you'll be able to sell that spot at a much higher price because there's going to be more demand for a smaller supply. So I know I gave a lot of points here, but if you check most of these boxes, your price will come closer to a $60 CPM and maybe even higher. If not, your price will probably be closer to a $20 CPM. Now, like I mentioned at the front of this is just the guidelines for standard 60-second mid-roll integrations with a general product. If you have a very niche audience and a brand that's perfectly aligned with their niche audience, you can likely charge way more. For instance, if you're a biohacking creator and you love to use the sauna and a sauna brand wants to sponsor you, it's very possible instead of a $20 to $60 CPM that you're working with, you'll be looking at a $200 to a $600 CPM because your audience is highly targeted and highly valuable for that brand. So if you want full details on how to price your channel, I have a whole blog written about this. Go to sponsorshiptoolbox.com. I'm going to put the link on screen. I have a full resource there that breaks it down per every genre and CPMs per genre. So step 2 is getting in front of the sponsors. There's 3 ways that sponsorship deals can come your way. Number 1 is inbound. Number 2 is outbound, and number 3 is through a sponsorship representative like Adhesive Media. Let's get into each of them. Number 1, inbound. So this is when a brand emails you or DMs you asking you to do a partnership. Now, here's the problem. Most of those emails are spam or complete scams. So you have to be really careful. I've heard horror stories of creators that click on a link and they completely lose access to their channel, or it steals money from them or something like that. It's really crazy. So you have to be very careful with the emails that you get on YouTube. Don't click on links unless you know it's trusted, unless you know it comes from a legit brand. So what I would say here is I highly recommend having a manager that actually knows what they're doing when it comes to handling your inbound emails and DMs. What I use is I have a checklist. It's on sponsorshiptoolbox.com that I use to vet inbound sponsors. So you can grab that at sponsorshiptoolbox.com. It has a handful of different questions that you can ask yourself when you get an inbound deal from a sponsor, and it has email templates that you can use to respond to them. Number 2 is outbound. This is where you reach out to brands directly. What you do here is there's a couple different options. One is you can go to LinkedIn and you can find who, like the person who has influencer in their title at the company, and shoot them a DM on LinkedIn, or you can DM the company directly on Instagram. Now here's the thing, it works, but the reality is it's a grind. Outbound takes a lot of time, and you may only get a 5 to 10% response rate as a creator. We do outbound all the time, but we're sending out hundreds of emails, hundreds of DMs. And what we do is the few that respond, we upsell them to all the creators that we work with. So if you are a busy creator, this might not be the best use of your time. Number 3, in my opinion, is the best option is you work with a sponsorship representative like Adhesive Media. Companies like mine usually take between a 15 and 30% commission on your deals. Adhesive Media is 20%, so somewhere on the lower end. The benefit to working with a sponsorship representative is you immediately get access to a whole list of sponsors. For example, when we onboard a new creator at Adhesive Media, we show them a list of 50 plus brands that we already work with, and they get to pick the ones that they're interested in for us to pitch them to. If you decide to work with the agency, here's a few things to watch out for. Number 1, don't pay a commission higher than 20%. After that, it's too high. Number 2, don't sign an exclusivity contract that locks you in unless you have a 30-day out clause. You do not want to be stuck in annual or multi-annual exclusivity contracts with your agent. You should be able to leave at any time if they aren't giving you good service. Number 3 is you want to make sure that they show you their sponsor list before you sign. You don't want an agent that just sits around waiting for inbound emails. You could have just done that yourself. You want someone that already has brands on deck, and you want someone who's doing outbound for you to continue getting more brands on deck. Number 4, make sure they're not taking a percentage of your YouTube AdSense revenue. That's a common scam I see with different agents out there, that they get you no deals and they just take in your passive money from YouTube AdSense. And the last thing here is make sure that they send you, or they share with you, the sponsor side contracts on deals on every deal that they do. For every deal, just for reference, there's 2 contracts. There's one that you sign with the agent, and there's one the agent signs with the sponsor, okay? Generally, they'll just show you this one. Make sure the agency is showing you this one too, because you want them to have absolute transparency into the pricing. You don't want to get into a scenario where they promise you a 20% commission, but you get paid $1,000 and they charge the brand $2,000, because that's a 50% commission. It's a common scam in this industry. So make sure that's in writing, that they will show you all the sponsor side contracts before you sign them. That's what we do at Adhesive Media, and that's what every agent who is transparent and honest should do. As you could tell, I can make a whole video on how to pick the right agent, but for now, this is a pretty good overview, so let's get to the next section. Step 3, let's talk about how to actually craft your pitch for that brand. There's a handful of reasons that a sponsor will choose to work with your channel, and you need to highlight the ones that will apply for you. Here's what brands are usually looking for. Number 1 thing is a personal endorsement. Have you used their product? Have you heard of it before? Do you have friends that use it? Do you have family members that use it? Most importantly, if you used it, in what context do you use it? Why do you like it? Why do you love it? Mention that in your pitch to the brand. Number 2, is there a specific video that you're making that will relate to that brand's product? For instance, in the earlier example I gave, if you are a health or biohacking creator, are you making a video about saunas that you could feature that brand's sauna in, right? If you are an automotive channel, is there a specific video you're making where you're repairing a car that you could use a brand's part in the video? So these are all the things to consider. Next is, do you have an audience that actually fits their customer base? So let's say that you're a female creator and your audience is completely male. If you use a certain skin cream that's only for women, even though you have a personal endorsement, that brand will most likely not sponsor your channel because they are targeting a female audience. The next thing here is, does your genre align with their product, right? So a lot of gaming companies will want to sponsor gaming channels. A lot of automotive products will want to sponsor automotive channels. So does your video genre align with their products. The next thing is, have you been a top performer or have you gotten sponsor renewals from similar brands in the past? So let's say you want to work with an electrolyte supplement. What they will probably want to see is, have you worked with other supplement companies in the past? Do you have a renewal deal from other electrolyte companies in the past? They want to see if it's worked for another brand, it will probably work for their brand too. The next thing here is, do you craft integrations that match their brand voice? Can you send them examples of integrations you've made that would be similar to what they're looking for? So these are all the things to consider. When you are crafting your pitch, you want to include a personal endorsement. You want to include why you like the product. You want to include why your audience is a fit for that product. You want to include past integrations that you've done that are similar to what they're looking for. Maybe you can't include all of them, but including at least one or two of these would be super helpful for you to land a deal. Number 4 here is negotiating rates. It's totally normal for a sponsor to push back on your pricing. And don't take it personally. It's just part of the game. They obviously want to get the best deal. So if you're a newer creator, I actually recommend being very flexible on your rates, especially if it means it'll help you lock in a longer term deal. You don't want to be the creator that has a different sponsor on every single video. It doesn't look good to your audience, and it'll be harder for you to plan your income on a monthly basis. What you really want are consistent repeat sponsors. That way you can forecast your revenue, build stronger brand relationships, and your audience will actually get used to seeing sponsors that they actually recognize. So yeah, hold your ground if you feel that your rate is justified, but don't be afraid to compromise if it helps you lock in a bigger long-term partnership. Trust me, reducing your rate by a little bit to get in a longer-term deal and to get your foot in the door with working with the right brand will pay off in the long run. Step 5 here is contracting. So you've agreed on a price, and now it's time to sign the contract. If you don't have a lawyer or can't afford one yet, that's totally fine. Here's an easy hack. Copy and paste the sponsor's contract into GPT and use this prompt. GPT, you're a YouTube creator sponsorship contracts lawyer. I'm a YouTube creator, and I'm getting my first sponsorship contract ever with brand. Please review this contract, explain what each term means, and flag anything I should be aware of. So you give that to GPT, and it'll spit out a list of all the terms, what they mean, and what the term is for that deal. When you review that contract, here's the main things that you want to check for. Number 1, does the price match what you agreed to? Number 2, did you agree to a view guarantee on the deal? And if so, is it clearly spelled out or is it not? Number 3, did you agree to give them usage rights? Meaning, can they use your content in their ads? If not, you'll want to ask them to remove that from the contract. Number 4, did you agree to any exclusivity? Are you locked out from working with any of their competitors or similar brands? If not, you want to ask them to remove that from the contract too. Number 5, how long are you required to keep the ad live on your channel? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Is it 12 months? Usually 6 or 12 months is standard for contracts. Number 6, are the deliverables correct? Is the number of integrations, the length of each integration, and the placement in the video correct? Number 7, do the approval timelines and revision limits make sense? How much time do they give you to send over the preview for approval? How many revisions are they able to ask for? Make sure you check this out. Generally, sending the preview in 3 days before and 2 rounds of revisions is standard. And finally, what are the payment terms? How long will it actually take for them to pay you? Generally, 30 days from the end of the month that you posted your integration is standard in our industry. So make sure you don't just skim the contract and sign. Take the time to actually understand what you're agreeing to, especially if it's your first deal. It'll save you a lot of headaches down the line. And remember, GPT is your best friend here. It understands these contracts extremely well. Step 6 is delivering a great ad placement. And if you don't do this, all the other 5 steps you did were a waste of time. Reason being is how you deliver your first ad really determines whether the company is going to work with you again, and it signals to other brands if you're worth working with. So the first thing you want to understand is a great ad placement isn't just good for the sponsor. It's good for you, and it's good for your audience. And here's why. Great ad placements are win-win-win for the audience, the sponsor, and you, the creator. Bad ad placements are lose-lose-lose for the audience, the sponsor, and the creator. The audience. A great ad means the audience enjoys watching the ad. They check out the product. Maybe they get value. They buy the product. They like it, and they'll keep watching your video. In a bad ad, the audience will get bored of your ad. They're going to leave your video and they're going to lose interest in your channel. They might even unsubscribe from you if your ad is very bad. A great ad, the sponsor will be happy. They'll get a great return on the ad and they'll want to work with you again. You'll get a renewal deal. In a bad ad, the sponsor will get a bad return from the ad. They don't get sales from it. They're bummed out and they don't want to work with you again. And finally, you as the creator, in a great ad, since the audience stays in the video, your retention goes up and your views for that video increases. Since the sponsor got a return, good return, you'll get a renewal deal. You get another deal with that brand. So you really win. If you make a boring ad, since the audience left the video, they clicked off since your ad was so bad, your retention decreases and your views decrease. YouTube stops promoting your video. And possible loss of subscribers. And if the sponsorship didn't do well, you won't get a renewal deal. So that's why it's so important. You want to make a good ad. There's a million reasons why. That's why you want to make a good ad. And so, how do you make a good ad? Number one is you want to tie it in with a story. You want to weave the product in with a story. Everyone loves to hear a story. You want a relatable story. For instance, if you're doing a meal prep sponsor, you want to talk about how busy you are in the middle of the day, how you get home from work, you don't feel like cooking, but you don't want to eat McDonald's. So you use this product, you put it in the microwave for 2 minutes and boom, you have food, right? Number two is you want to show genuine excitement. No one wants to hear a flat monotone ad. It's so boring. You already want to click off this video when you hear me, right? You don't want to sound like that. That's the worst thing ever. I've seen creators that make monotone ads. They never get renewal deals. Their audience is like, why the hell are you doing ad placements? It makes no sense to me. Have some energy. The same way you do your video, you have energy in the ad placement. Number three, endorse the product authentically. Actually use the product before you promote it. If it's a supplement, put it in the water and drink it. If it's a food, eat it. If it's an app, use it on your phone. Actually learn how to use the product. Learn how it works. Figure out what about the product is your favorite part about it and talk about that. Talk about it the same way you'd recommend it to your friends, the same way you'd recommend it to your audience. Talk about how do you hear about it? What problem did it solve for you? What benefit is your favorite of this product? How does it save you time? How does it save you money? How does it make your life better? Think about these in your delivery. Make sure it's natural. Make sure you're being honest. Don't bullshit around, but give an authentic endorsement for that product. Number four is you want to keep your video quality consistent. This is similar to what I talked about in the second myth. If you shoot your videos on an iPhone and it's not much editing, do the same for your ad placement. Don't have a huge difference in the actual quality of the ad just because it is a sponsored integration. Number five here is you want to get creative, right? So whether it's how you show the product in action, whether it's a joke or something like that, the same way you would do things to keep retention in your audience, you want to do that for your ad placement too. Don't make it too boring. And the next thing here is you want to have a really good call to action. So if the viewer likes the product, they're interested, but there's nowhere for them to buy it, they don't know how to use your code, it's going to be pointless. You're not going to get a renewal deal. Make it very clear, hey, if you're interested in this, use my code to actually buy the product. Don't just go on their website and buy it. Use my code. You want people to use your code. You want them to click the link and use your code. And the last thing here, at the end of the ad, most important, is you want to thank your audience. Remind your audience that without them, you wouldn't be able to have views to get the sponsorships that actually end up paying for the channel. So that's the most important thing. Let them know these sponsorships help you keep making great content for the audience, and make sure to thank the audience as always. So if you follow these steps, you're not only going to land your first deal, but you'll keep the sponsors coming back for more and more because of how good your ads are. That's the full roadmap to landing your first YouTube sponsorship deal, even if you have a small audience. If you found this helpful, please do me a favor and hit subscribe. I'm not selling any courses or selling anything on this channel, so even just a small hitting the subscribe button would mean the world to me. If you've got any questions or comments or anything, feel free to drop that in the comments and I'll respond to those within 24 hours. So thank you again for watching and good luck on landing your first deal.